Welcome back to the channel. Today we're out in the garden and we have one, not officially final, but we have one more big thing to accomplish here in the garden that's very, very important, and that is fencing. We have to protect all of the effort we have put into growing food here. One of my biggest challenges in this garden. Every year I grow many things and much of it gets eaten or destroyed by critters in the area. So we have all this wonderful garden space that we have now made. We have our Vigega raised beds all put in. We added a bunch of them. We added a couple other cheaper raised beds that I had from some other sites. We've got the green stock grow towers. We've got strawberries planted in most of them, whatever has grown anyway. A couple years ago, put up these wonderful posts all around the garden. I got a new post hole digger and I thought, what a great problem. We need to put a fence up. So I put all these posts in. These are 4x4 posts. They're in the ground about between 2 and 3 feet. We've got about 5 to 5.5 feet sticking out depending on the slope. I have a few ideas. I've mocked up some of this fencing to show you some of my plan, but there are lots of different ideas and ways to fence in a garden, and it depends on what kind of pests you have in your area. Here we have deer, we have turkeys, we do have squirrels and chipmunks, we do have raccoons, possums, other things like that can get in and cause trouble. But the main culprits here are deer, my dog running through the garden, wrecking things, and rabbits. Rabbits are the other big one. I'm gonna go over the grander plan very quickly. I have mocked up some of this fencing here, but I think this is what I've settled on in this design. I have 3 pieces of decking. Most of this are 10-foot spans. I've got the 5/4 decking, so 10-foot pieces. I've got one pretty close to the bottom, or at the bottom. Now, when I get to the slope, that's going to look a little different. There's going to be, I'm trying to keep all these level, so we're going to have gaps at the bottom of some of these. I've got about a 2.5 foot, and about a 5 foot total height. And again, it steps up depending on the height, so I'm trying to keep it as tall as possible as the posts will allow, depending on how deep they are. So this will, in general, keep out things like deer. They will at least be deterred. They can jump over, certainly. They can easily scale 5 feet, but generally when there's things on the other side, they don't do that. They won't jump because they're afraid they're gonna fall. But for the bunnies, I had this idea. I have a lot of different fencing in my garage, so I tested out a bunch of different ideas. This is a 1/2-inch hardware cloth. This is the smallest gaps that I think that we can allow. So I think this hardware cloth is going to be the way to go, and I'm going to either paint it black or get a black version of this coated, and that will go on the bottom between my lower fencing. Well, I've got my level, I've got my screw gun, some screws, and we will, I've got a bunch of decking. I don't have enough to finish all of it because, again, we're doing this in sections because of the cost. It's quite expensive. You spend $200 here and $300 there, and then you're up to $1,000 all of a sudden. This is 5/4 decking. It is the cheaper version of it. It means it has a lot of knots and things in it. I have a few of the premium ones here just because that's all they had. This is mostly clear, not free. This is all ground contact treated stuff. So I'm gonna start getting some of these cut to length and put up here in these spots. We'll do the front half, like I said, first. I've got a few posts to fix, and we'll start to get this put together. It doesn't happen often with these screws, but when it does, that is some manufacturing mistake right there. Yeah. Up to the top.
It doesn't have screws.
Nice. Well, all of the boards are up. It's not completely done. But this was a major hurdle. So because all this is stepped down and or up in the back, I just went off the top of the lowest pole, and that determined how high it was. And then I put the bottom board on, which sat on the highest pole right on the ground, or pretty close in some spots. And then I just split the difference and put the middle board right in the middle, just making sure that I had less than 24 inches in between the bottom section here, so I can put a piece of hardware cloth on, which is what I decided to go with for the bottom. And I still need to make gates. That'll be later. These grapes are just at an awkward length. They're not quite tall enough to get wrapped all the way up to the top, but eventually these will grow across here. And I've got a few more posts to put in where we'll make kind of a grand entryway here with a hoop over the top for the grapes to grow on. It's all coming together. This will keep the deer out, or at least deter them. And once I get the hardware cloth on, the smaller critters like rabbits at least should be able to, will stay out. The garden fortress. Could put a horse in here now. The garden fence is about 75% done. I do have, I think I sourced some 24-inch, quarter-inch or half-inch hardware cloth. I can't remember what side it was on Vivor. They have got some rolls of it for fairly cheap. I think it's like less than $1 a foot. And so I'll be able to use that, I think, to get the bottom part of this done for fairly cheap. But I'm doing this a little bit by a little bit, so it's not such an expense all at once. I'm trying to get this all done. And so I still have a little bit more to do in order to protect this completely from our pests. our woodland critter friends here, but a lot of progress has been made. I will take you guys along for the grape, I guess we call it like a grape arbor, that will go over the front entrance here, and all the gates that we have to build to kind of secure this completely. I've got lots more to come, irrigation systems that I want to put in here. We'll do some power running from our solar generator over there. We'll get kind of a whole setup in here where we have as much of an automated protected garden as we possibly can. We want to produce as much food as we can. We're trying to eliminate any weak spots. Let me know what you guys think. What do you think of the garden progress so far this year? We have vowed this year to make this into from a garden mess to a food factory. That is the plan. And this garden fence was a big part of that. Don't forget to hit thumbs up. As always, subscribe if it's your first time here. Love to have you tag along. Lots more gardening things, chicken things, homesteading things, and DIY projects to come on the channel this summer and into the fall. Thank you as always for following along, and we'll see you next time.